What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, managing editor, FightfulMMA.com. Here was some good news on a Saturday morning. UFC has issued a statement clarifying that Nate Diaz is still involved in the UFC 244 main event. Diaz had issued a social media post claiming that USADA had claimed that he had some sort of abnormal testing, elevated levels, and that he refused to fight until he was cleared, that he wasn't going to hide the fact that he had failed some test. But according to the statement released by the UFC, Diaz's failed test came as a result of an atypical finding of LGD 4033, which is a selective androgen receptor modulator. Experts concluded that the limited amount has no performance-enhancing effects or therapeutic benefits. UFC's full statement reads, "The main event of UFC 244 at Madison Square Garden in New York will proceed as scheduled. UFC is an industry leader in anti-doping, and we continuously strive and advocate for an effective and fair program for our sport and athletes. From January of 2019, UFC and USADA, along with independent experts and consultants, have been reviewing the UFC anti-doping policy to ensure it remains a reliable and effective tool to combat doping in our sport and protect athletes that compete in the octagon. As early as August 31st, 2019, certain significant changes to the anti-doping policy have been agreed upon in principle between the UFC and USADA, and as such have been put into practice. One of the changes is the adoption of a scientifically based decision on concentration levels known as minimum thresholds for certain prohibited substances, where evidence has shown that positive tests of these substances below the threshold are consistent with innocent contamination. A positive sample of an applicable substance below the decision concentration level results is treated as an atypical finding. An atypical finding will result in no violation in the absence of the other facts or circumstances that confirm an athlete intended to gain an unauthorized performance-enhancing therapeutic benefit through the use of the substance." God damn. There's plenty more to this. It says that on October 24th, Nate Diaz released a public statement regarding his out-of-competition test, and it was revealed that he was not intending to use any malice or intending to gain any performance-enhancing use out of this. The amount of LGD 4033 that may be present in his system was about 10,000 times lower than one therapeutic dose of that. USADA said, following Mr. Diaz's public comments on Thursday, we can confirm that he has not been sanctioned or provisionally suspended. As the independent administrator of the UFC anti-doping program, man, I'm falling all over myself. USADA always provides every athlete the presumption of innocence. The athlete publicly speaks of a potential violation first, then USADA may choose to comment. Yikes. So Diaz strong-armed them into a statement because he cares about his legacy, cares about his reputation. Apologies for the wordy statement. But man, they covered their asses there. I'll say that. UFC 244, moving on. Masvidal, Nate Diaz, BMF title, at least until Diaz decides to pull again. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe, we're out.